I haven't seen them. I haven't noticed them coming by the thousands forward, saying we are going to make sure that food and clothing, medicine, sustenance is taken to these countries. If you have 50 people in your congregations, I know many of you have as much as 10,000, these so-called mega churches. Now, if every person in this so-called mega church or little churches or little synagogues or wherever you are started to make a collection and bought food, medicine and clothing and sent it off. Yes, I know you're going to say, well, they won't let it cross the border. But if there are tons and tons and tons at that border, it becomes an embarrassment to the occupiers. Remember that. I survived World War II. I know all too well the most ugly of ugly things humanity can do to humanity. And you say to me, oh, do you know the Holocaust? Did ever anyone stop to tell you that it wasn't solely Jews that died in that Holocaust? All the numerous thousands who are not Jewish, they didn't erect walls and statues or whatever stories for them. I can't remember that ever anyone approached myself about all these family members that died there, who were traitored into misery. So when I see this taking place, I know all too well what I'm speaking of, what I'm speaking about at this moment, what's taking place. So I'm calling you to think that if they are jolted out of their bodies, these precious people, and I don't care what religion you are, but your soul is attached into this aggression, into this situation, then you have to wait for the angels to come during new moon, before new moon, the night before, to come and rescue you out of your confusion. But if you are not, and you understand anything about the spiritualism or spiritism or life after life, then you know that still today they are warring, slaughtering each other, fighting each other in Niagara Falls area, Niagara and St. Catharines area. You can go there with an infrared camera and set it up. And you see their horses and the man upon the horses galloping even through the midst of living rooms, because they were not helped to understand that physical life is over and the war is settled, supposedly. So when we see these things, and to you who are there, who are getting angry with me, and you have a right, it doesn't mean whether you are correct, but you might go through that emotion. But imagine going through this emotion of watching the horrendous suffering, and it doesn't matter whether it is Palestinian or whether it is Israeli or whether it is a person in the Sudan. Suffering is suffering. Whether it is the Mohawks in Montreal, who are suffering tremendously, who are never left to have some peace. And yes, it all comes to this door. And because it comes here, I urge you, wherever you are, do not fall in states of anger, but in a state of let's do something. Let us do the best we can do for each and every one. You know, when a parent loses a child, it is so painful. Years and years of love and hope suddenly are shattered. When a person suddenly sees a grandchild, joy, and it doesn't matter what race, creed or color. So I'm asking you, wherever you are, to send emails and to send letters to the supposed people who are in charge and demand they put a stop to all this hatred and destruction. Because this activity that's taking place now, wherever upon your planet, seeds hatred and fear in the hearts of the children. I have to go for a moment back when I was chosen. You know, I wasn't chosen first when I was but only 3.5 years old, to be the one who had the gift to be able to tell what was going to take place in this place or that place or the other during the war years. But then when I was named to Saoshyant the first time, at the age of 7, and I was told that they had expected it to be a man today, in 1994, I was again approached for the so many a time, and I was asked by these ever-loving people, would I be accepting to be their Saoshyant? And it took me until 2004 to contemplate about it and to ask the all of the all kind and pure whether this could be my decision and it would help humanity. And after long contemplations and very serious prayer, I accepted. Now I say to you, when someone said, oh, you know, this one or that one, and they make comparisons between this one and the other, well, I can only say to you, I didn't solicit it to become the Saoshyant. I didn't solicit to be in this position. I didn't approach hordes of people. That did not take place. But as I was told by a very elderly rabbi, he said, you know, and this was in 1980, it is amazing, he said, to sit here with you and to have this cup of tea. He says it is amazing to see what could take place in the future. And I said to him, let us not think of the future, but just of this moment, what we can do that is good. Good for the souls of many. And he surprised and he looked at me and he says, you never tend to go and think of self. Well, it isn't about self, it is about all. And there are those out there amongst you who are not very pleased because I happen to be a woman.